The air is soft tonight. Imagine a dusk where the sun clings a little longer than it should, spilling golden light across a desert so wide it forgets where the horizon ends. You stand at the edge of a caravan trail in West Africa, somewhere near the city of Niani, in what will someday be called the Mali Empire. But for now, it's just a place where dust and stories travel together. There's a breeze, warm, dry, and uninterested in your opinions. Somewhere nearby, a goat sneezes, which feels like the most urgent event of the hour. You're surrounded by quiet murmurs, the low hum of people packing goods, preparing animals, and arguing softly about who misplaced the third sack of dates. It's a moment suspended between stillness and motion. This is the beginning of a journey, and your guide tonight is none other than Mansa Musa. Yes, that Musa, the emperor who, according to at least one slightly dazzled Cairo historian, gave away so much gold during his trip to Mecca that it broke the economy. You are going to walk beside him for a while, if you can keep up. Fair warning, you probably won't make it through this day. Not because anything terrible happens, just because it's all a bit too relaxing. Before we go further, if you're enjoying the feeling of sinking into another time, go ahead and gently tap that like button. No pressure, but it does help the Camels stay emotionally supported. Leave a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is. We like knowing who's wandering the ancient world with us. Now, let's ease into tonight's journey. You shuffle closer to the caravan. It's not a humble group. There are hundreds, possibly thousands, of people, animals, and gold-draped assistants. Camels shift their weight impatiently. Robes flutter in the breeze like slow, deliberate flags. This is not a quiet pilgrimage. It's a royal processional disguised as a spiritual retreat. And the gold? Oh, there's gold. Each of the 100 camels carries a load so heavy, you feel embarrassed about how light your backpack is. Mansa Musa, the emperor himself, sits beneath a shaded canopy, his face calm, robes embroidered with subtle patterns of stars and baobab leaves. Historians still debate whether his entourage was truly that large. Some say the numbers were exaggerated. Others suggest the original records were more accurate than we think. Either way, it's clear. This man didn't do subtle. A musician begins to play a kora nearby, the gentle notes curling through the air like incense. Someone laughs, a low, sleepy sound, and a child chases a rooster with no real conviction. You step over a small pile of almond shells and watch the last rays of sun cling to Musa's golden armrest. The caravan begins to move, slowly, deliberately, and just like that, you are part of something immense and oddly soothing. You walk for hours, though time behaves oddly here. The stars come out one by one, and then all at once, like an overachieving student showing off, camels groan their way forward, offering constant complaints in a language made entirely of sighs. Somewhere ahead, incense wafts from a portable burner. Myrrh, maybe. Or something a little less spiritual and a little more mosquito-focused. The sand beneath your feet is soft, packed from years of footsteps, but it still finds its way into your shoes with the confidence of someone who wasn't invited, but came anyway. The night is cooler now, and you can hear hushed conversations in languages that will someday fade from maps, but still live in lullabies. Someone offers you a fig. It's not a great fig, but you thank them anyway and pretend it's the best thing you've eaten all month. That's diplomacy. Mansa Musa glides past you again, riding with an ease that suggests his camel was personally trained in royal posture. His guards wear gold-threaded sashes and carry spears that are more symbolic than practical. But let's be honest, that's half the job of a spear in a royal caravan. Tonight, the group settles near a riverbank, somewhere temporary, just for rest. A makeshift kitchen appears with alarming speed, and soon you smell honey cakes, lentil stew, and a confusingly popular onion-based dish. Someone has carved a chessboard into the sand, and two merchants argue gently about a knight's move, neither entirely sure how knights work. Here's your historical nugget of the evening. Musa didn't just take gold, he took scholars, architects, translators, and poets. His journey was a mobile university, a walking TED Talk that fed people ideas and egos across the Islamic world. Some say he handed out gold to everyone he met. Others say it was more strategic, diplomatic gifts, payments for guides, donations to mosques. No one quite agrees, but everyone agrees it was shiny. Your feet are tired, and a stray chicken has adopted you as a bodyguard. You decide not to question it. A man nearby hums an old Bambara tune. Children laugh softly as they trace constellations in the sand with sleepy fingers. The sky is a bowl of stars now, full and indifferent. You lie back, the camel bells jingling in the distance like wind chimes too lazy to be urgent. The fire crackles. Someone sneezes twice. Then silence. And just like that, the world becomes very, very still. Morning arrives, the way it always does in the Sahel. Quietly, then all at once. The sun doesn't rise so much as it stretches itself over the horizon like a very smug cat. You wake to the sound of camel complaints and a pot of something bubbling suspiciously near your ear. A nearby traveler tells you it's tea. You believe them, but only because you're too tired to argue. Mansa Musa is already awake. Of course he is. You get the sense that he doesn't actually sleep. He just politely pauses his thoughts while the rest of the world catches up. He's conferring with a group of men in robes so clean and pressed they feel vaguely accusatory. They are discussing the route to the next stop, possibly Timbuktu, though the maps are a bit interpretive. Historians still debate whether Musa intended to make Timbuktu the intellectual hub it became, or whether it blossomed mostly by accident, like when you forget a banana in your bag and it becomes banana bread energy. Someone passes you a sweet cake made with ground millet and honey. It crumbles the wrong way, but it's good. Around you, others break camp with practiced efficiency. Tents disappear like magic tricks, and the camels are reloaded with gold, spices, and slightly grumpy attitudes. One camel gives you a side-eye that could curdle milk. As the caravan continues, the landscape changes. You pass salt mines, endless pale stretches of earth that glitter faintly in the sun. Salt was gold before gold was fashionable. Traders once carried it across continents, sweating under the weight of something we now shake onto fries. You overhear a merchant explaining that in some places, salt could buy you a servant, a horse, or an extremely opinionated goat. The listener nods wisely and pockets a pinch of it, just in case. The air is dry again, but not unfriendly. The rhythm of hooves and sandals becomes your background music. It's hypnotic, like the soft ticking of a clock that isn't in a hurry. As you walk, You hear someone reciting poetry, soft lines in Arabic, punctuated with laughter. You don't understand the words, but you feel them. Mansa Musa glances back at the group, his expression unreadable, like a man who's seen too many sunrises to be surprised by one more. His presence is quiet but massive, like a dune that's always been there. By midday, the heat folds over the caravan like a sleepy blanket. You find shade beneath a cart, sharing space with a chicken who has not, apparently, gotten over your brief abandonment the night before. You apologize with a crumb. Peace is restored. You think for a moment about how far you've already walked and how much further there is to go. The journey stretches ahead like a silk ribbon, frayed at the edges, golden in the middle. And the camels keep walking. Later that afternoon, you pass through a small oasis village. It's the kind of place that smells like wet date palms and baked sand, a scent you didn't know you'd miss until you smelled it again. Children run ahead of the caravan, chasing after coins, stories, or maybe just the thrill of not being told to sit still. Mansa Musa doesn't rush. He allows the group to slow. He's generous, but not theatrical. A quiet word to the village elders, a gift, a prayer, a brief smile that suggests he's thinking about something far away. Perhaps the gold markets of Cairo, or the subtle art of camel politics. One of the village women offers you a clay cup of tamarind water. It's tart, sweet, and slightly gritty, like everything honest in life. You drink it slowly while watching a merchant try to convince a local craftsman that his brass buckle is worth 3 goats and an extra hammock. It isn't, but the argument is a masterpiece. Here's a delightful historical fact to tuck under your sleep blanket. Musa's generosity wasn't just gold flinging. He brought with him architects from Andalusia, scholars from Egypt, and even a few skeptics from Damascus, who mainly joined because they heard the food was excellent. He distributed wealth with the soft-handed power of someone who didn't need to prove he had it. But yes, he did give away so much gold in Cairo that its value plummeted and didn't recover for years. The ultimate economic mic drop. A group of storytellers gathers near the central well, weaving tales in Monday. You catch only fragments, heroes with spears, grandmothers who outwit kings, rain spirits who fall asleep during droughts. There's laughter, and something about a donkey who becomes a judge. You don't need to understand it all. The cadence is enough. You sit for a while beneath a date palm, feeling the bark press against your back like a firm reminder to be present. A breeze tugs gently at your sleeves. The same camel from earlier strolls past, still watching you, judgmental, resilient, possibly your soulmate. As night begins to slip its shawl over the sky, the caravan readies again. A quiet whistle signals the call to move. Fires are banked. Hands are shaken. The path stretches ahead like a suggestion, not a command. And off you go again, beneath a moon that pretends not to watch. The night ride is different. Slower, quieter. The sounds soften. The crunch of sand underfoot, the leathery rustle of packs, the low creak of wooden cartwheels. Even the camels seem less grumpy now, as if they've given in to the rhythm of it all. You breathe in the cool air, laced with distant wood smoke and something faintly floral. Maybe acacia, maybe just a trick of the night. You're not sure how long you've been walking anymore. Time stretches, blurs. The stars above flicker like slow thoughts. You feel like you're part of some old, sleepy song, Maybe that's what this journey is. Not a pilgrimage, not a conquest, just a song written in gold and footprints. Up ahead, Musa rides at a steady pace. He hasn't said much, but his presence shapes the space around him. He's the kind of leader who doesn't need to raise his voice because everyone's already listening. His robe tonight is a deep indigo, almost blending with the sky. You can barely tell where he ends and the dark begins. Here's something soft and strange for your mind to chew on. There's evidence Mansa Musa commissioned mosques along his route. Places for prayer, yes, but also places to pause. And some say those stops were so beautifully made that entire towns bloomed up around them like flowers in desert cracks. Historians still debate whether these towns existed before, or if Musa's stop simply gave them an upgrade and a marketing campaign. You pass one such place now, a few stone buildings, a low minaret, lamps flicker in niches along the path, throwing honey-colored light that dances on faces, fabrics, and sand. Someone is reciting scripture in the distance. Not loudly, just enough to hum through your bones, like a lullaby you don't quite know. You're offered dates. Again, you begin to suspect there is a vast date surplus, and someone is politely trying to reduce inventory. You accept them with exaggerated gratitude. They taste historical. A boy walks beside you for a while. He says nothing, just points out constellations with the confidence of a very small astronomer. He calls one the lion who sleeps too much. You nod solemnly. That's definitely a constellation. Probably. The firelight fades as the caravan moves on, but the memory of it clings to your eyes. Ahead, the path opens again, wide and endless. You walk until even your thoughts seem to walk slower. By morning, the lay of the land opens into plains. Dry grass brushes your legs as you move through it, golden and patient. Somewhere in the distance, cattle move like slow shadows, their bells clinking with the rhythm of old routines. You feel a strange peace here, like you've wandered into someone else's dream and been invited to stay. The caravan halts in the middle of nowhere, which, as it turns out, is actually somewhere. A small outpost known mostly to merchants and the kind of people who always seem to know where water is. There's a well, surrounded by stone, and a market made of woven mats and confident negotiation. Today, Mansa Musa speaks. You can't hear the full speech. You're a bit far back, and someone nearby is loudly explaining how almonds are definitely better than figs. They're wrong, but this isn't the time for conflict. Still, you catch enough to feel it. Calm, measured words about faith, hospitality, and the road ahead. Here's your historical treat for this pause. Musa's pilgrimage was not just religious. It was also a public demonstration of wealth, diplomacy, and quite possibly vibes. He met with rulers, funded mosques, and recruited scholars to return with him. Some say he even brought back architects who helped shape the golden age of Timbuktu. Others say, well, nothing, because no one was taking notes during the snack breaks. In the shade of a leaning tree, someone braids your hair. You didn't ask for it. It just happens. They hum as they work, and the braid feels oddly metaphorical. Interwoven paths, quiet hands, a journey being shaped strand by strand. You let it happen. Resistance feels like a waste of energy. Nearby, an old woman sells spices from a wooden bowl. She lets you sniff each one, explaining them with exaggerated pride. You buy one simply because she winks at you like you're part of a very old joke. The afternoon slides in, slow and soft. A breeze rustles the market tents. Someone strums a stringed instrument. Its tune so gentle, it feels like it's brushing the air, not playing it. A whisper of movement, and the caravan begins to gather once more. Camels are coaxed into position with mild insults and bribes. The gold is repacked, glinting briefly in the sunlight before being hidden beneath cloth. You walk again, because that's what this journey is. Walking, watching, and remembering small things. You pass the braided tree again. It nods at you. Or maybe it's just the wind. You walk until your legs forget their legs and become something simpler. Tools, rhythm, part of the trail. The horizon ahead shimmers under the late day sun, and everything glows in soft, exhausted gold. The heat is quieter now. Not forgiving, just distracted. Mansa Musa's caravan moves like a river of silk and dust. The scale of it is staggering, though you've grown so used to it that it no longer surprises you. You pass scribes riding donkeys, guards in leather and linen, servants carrying copper jugs, and a man whose only job appears to be carrying a very nice chair. You respect that. You find yourself walking next to an old man with a limp and an excellent hat. He tells you with a tone of great authority that he once taught Mansa Musa how to count. You smile politely. He may be right or not. Historians still debate whether Musa was educated in the strict academic sense or simply carried the kind of innate intelligence that didn't need parchment to prove itself. Either way, the man's hat is clearly not up for debate. It is magnificent. The caravan stops once more, this time near a small wadi where reeds grow tall and frogs sing with the confidence of a sold-out concert. A few travelers set up hammocks between trees. Others lie on blankets and stare at the sky like it owes them something. Someone hands you a tiny piece of jewelry, roughly carved, probably copper, shaped like a fish. They don't explain it. You don't ask. It warms in your hand. Here's one last odd little truth for your journey tonight. During this legendary pilgrimage, Musa gave so much gold away in Cairo that it caused a decade-long inflation crisis. But perhaps more interesting is how he was remembered, not just for his wealth, but for the way he moved across the world. Calm, intentional, curious, like someone who knew the true currency of life wasn't gold, but presence. Evening comes again, folding over the desert like a well-worn blanket. Fires are lit low. Bread is shared without conversation. A woman sings a lullaby to no one in particular, her voice floating like dust in lamplight. You lie down beside your ever-judging camel friend, who finally settles into sleep with a sigh that sounds vaguely approving. The stars above stretch wider tonight, like they're trying to make room for all you've seen. The gold, the sand, the figs, the frogs, the laughter, the braids, and the footsteps, countless, patient footsteps that brought you here. Now, just stay where you are. Let the last of the firelight flicker on your eyelids and feel the weight of the day melt into the earth beneath you. The caravan is still. The camels have gone quiet, and even the desert breeze has stopped telling secrets. for the night. You can feel the rhythm of the journey settle into your bones, the slow sway of movement, the soft jingle of gear, the hum of distant voices fading into silence. Let your breath mirror that rhythm now, in and out, easy, gentle, like you're breathing with the land itself. The stars above you are older than any empire. They blink slowly, watching, remembering, unconcerned. Somewhere far ahead, the Nile waits. But tonight, there's nothing left to chase. No gold to carry, no history to impress, only stillness. Maybe you'll dream of salt mines and almond cakes, or perhaps of golden canopies and braided trees. Maybe you'll walk beside Musa again, or simply wander through a market where the figs never run out and the tea always tastes like stories. For now, you rest. You are small and safe, and cradled by a world much older than worry. Sleep, traveler. The journey will be here when you wake.